2021. Don't go anywhere. You got it on the spot. I don't have a cool intro yet. I'm still working out on some of these things. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to give you this type of entertainment here. Oh, speaking of entertainment, with me today, as always, is Preacher. Good morning, Preacher.
Good morning, Spaniard. How are you doing this morning?
Man, doing fantastic. First things first, I got to tell you, that was an awesome Preacher's Picks. I love that. I love Picks from Above. That your tagline there, that is cool as hell, man. That was cool.
Thank
I
you.
digged it. You got a great voice for radio, man. Definitely a great
Not
voice for broadcasting.
Not only that, but ever since I did Preacher's Picks, and ever
Yeah,
since I've done my picks every single week,
yeah,
I've done them since the playoffs have started.
right.
I have gotten 2 games wrong the entire time.
Damn. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, I think you got something going here, man. Got something going. So hell to the yeah. But hey, if you guys are just joining us, just some tidbit of information. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's going to snow here in the Midwest. So
Yeah.
do whatever you got to do to take all the precautions because we're going to get some snow, man. Winter is here. And so I know can you believe I got an early morning text from Ogre? Hey, good morning, Wes, over from Montana, man. I got an early morning text from Ogre about tonight's show, about how he was giving us the play-by-play weather about how he's going to be able to make it for his show tonight. So he was up early and talking about the weather. So weather's going to be a big issue or a big talk of the town around here. So
Well,
speaking of talk of the town, yeah.
gonna say they're talking not just snow, but ice too. There's gonna be a layer of ice coming.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is winter. I could dig it. Yeah. I mean,
That's that crispy layer on top, though.
you know,
It looks so nice on on the fields and stuff like that, where it's like the snow and then there's like that shimmering layer on top of the ice. It looks awesome. The problem is it wreaks havoc on the roads.
it really does. It really does. And so hopefully people, if you're driving out to, well, they say it's really not supposed to really hit until tonight and into tomorrow morning's commute. So, snow's been around since, I don't know, at least for a few years. People should understand the concept of it. So hopefully, don't freak out, folks. It's just snow and ice. Just take it easy, man. Take it easy. Dude, I saw football yesterday. It was, I saw the playoffs, the AFC playoffs yesterday.
Yeah.
And I got to say, man, I just wasn't as excited as I thought I would be. I saw that it was going to be a live show on CBS. I figured, hey, we have that CBS app. We should watch football tonight. And so, we did our chores in hopes of like, hey, we're going to look forward to football. And I don't know, man, I didn't, I don't know. How about you, man? Did you enjoy the football yesterday?
I enjoyed the NFC game a lot more than the AFC game. The NFC game had a big storyline, which was the GOAT versus the sort of supposed GOAT. You have Tom Brady, who is now, if you haven't heard, Tom Brady's Buccaneers won yesterday. So he will be going to his 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Against Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers had been hot for, the last couple weeks, but then Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they managed to make it in as a wild card team. So they went to Washington and beat them. They went to New Orleans and beat them. And then they went to the Packers and beat them. Now they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at home. They're playing in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, which is a big deal for those who aren't following sports.
It's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time that a team in the Super Bowl is ever going to be hosting the Super Bowl. So, which is cool. Speaking of which, some other slightly, I guess you could say, sad news, because other than the football of the Super Bowl, what's 2 or 3 of the things that you normally watch the show for?
Commercials and cheerleaders.
Commercials, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? Yeah, so Budweiser, Budweiser's had these great ones. The Budweiser, the frogs, you remember them?
Right. Yeah.
And the Clydesdale kicking the field goal with the dog and all that stuff. Like, Budweiser's had some great commercials these past couple of years. They're not going to have a Super Bowl commercial this year.
Oh, why is that?
For the first time, in 37 years, Budweiser, Coke, Hyundai, and Pepsi are not going to have Super Bowl commercials this year.
Wow. Is there a reason?
They claimed that they are going to be reallocating the media investment to raise awareness about the COVID-19 vaccine
Mm,
in partnership with the Ad Council.
yeah. I don't know.
The Budweiser vice president said, like everyone, we are eager to get people back together, reopen restaurants and bars, be able to gather to cheers with friends and family. To do this, to bring consumers back into the neighborhood bars and restaurants that were hit exceptionally hard by the pandemic. We're stepping in to support critical awareness of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Hmm.
I mean, I understand that, but here's my question about that.
Yeah.
Right now, the vaccine's being limited, right? You have to be
Right.
a certain sector of the population to
Right.
get the vaccine. Right now, it's like healthcare professionals.
Hmm.
Teachers, I mean, there was just a news article or a thing this morning on the news. Teachers aren't even scheduled to get it until like halfway through February.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's that mean for the rest of us? Because I mean, you want to talk about, well, get the COVID vaccine, get the COVID vaccine. You know, do this, do that. It's like, well, okay, but we can't. You know, we're we're literally in a boat without a creek. You know,
Right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
so it's like, yeah, there's those of the population that would like to get the vaccine. It's just not available to us yet. So I don't understand why something that normally is, I mean, absolutely hilarious, brings people's minds out of, you know, the darkness, so to speak.
Yeah.
It, you know, instead of doing that, well, you know, we're going to raise awareness.
Awareness.
I don't think, yeah, that's what this is all about, is awareness that there's a vaccine.
I'm aware that there's a vaccine.
Yeah.
What I'm also aware of is that there's a shortage, and I'm also
Yeah.
aware that people want it. So yeah, enough of the awareness. Let's pump them out, man.
Right.
I don't know.
So,
I kind of I don't know. I kind of heard. I've heard like right now there's still a teacher strike in Illinois. I guess your neck of
Yes.
the woods. There's a teacher strike.
Yep.
Is that going
they're
on?
refusing to go back to work.
Yeah.
So,
Why?
which is,
Why?
it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of going back to sound off territory here, but
Yeah, it's
this
quite
is
all right.
moronic. Absolutely moronic. So the CPS Teachers Union refuses to go back to work because they say that there's not enough safeguards and there's not enough safety measures in place. Let me
Yeah.
put it this way. I know of 3 private schools that have been back to school Monday through Friday,
Right.
every single day since September of last year.
Yeah.
Okay. One of which has documented evidence. That one is Timothy Christian School up in Elmhurst. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
They have a K through 12 school. There's over 700 students in that school. They have
Okay.
had a total of 63 cases. Now they do intensive contact tracing. At
Mhm.
least that's what the report that they gave was.
Yeah.
And in that contact tracing, 12 of those cases were spread in the school. Some kid
Ugh.
came in asymptomatic and spread it to a couple people, which then spread it to a couple more people, but
Yeah.
it was stopped at that point.
Yeah.
So the other 51 were outside cases that people brought in. It wasn't spread within the school. It was
Yeah.
outside cases that people got.
Yeah.
It's not the school. Less than 0.5% of the total cases of COVID came from the school. I think it's safe to say that the schools are not the problem. And as long
True.
as safety measures are in place, even the teachers aren't getting sick.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know. I'm a substitute teacher. They haven't been calling me.
I'm sorry to be laughing, but I was watching the morning news, the morning local news, and they were talking about some of these private schools that are
Yeah.
still running, and they were showing, I don't know if it was a kindergarten class or a preschool class, but this little girl had her hand in her mouth and was
Yeah.
rubbing her face all over, and then she was like playing on the table. I'm like, well, that's why. I mean, people are gross, man. Like that was a bad clip to show this, to show how clean the school is when this little brat kid, snot-nosed kid, is like rubbing her
Yeah.
face and sticking her fingers in her mouth and
But
finger
here's the
painting
thing.
with their snots on the damn table.
But here's the thing. Who doesn't it affect?
Mm.
Preschoolers and kindergartners.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
the ones that
teachers,
are
I guess
going to
the
do
teachers
this
are
and rub it all over the
freaked
table.
out. Yeah. Well, the teachers are freaked out, and I don't blame them. But
I mean, I get that some of the teachers are advanced in years, but at the same time, maybe then, and
Retired?
maybe this is just me being facetious, but if they're really that concerned, there are younger teachers that are desperate to get a job in this economy right now.
Young desperate teachers. Where
You know?
are they at? I like
I mean,
young desperate teachers. They're the best.
But there are teachers that want to get jobs, well-paying
I'm sure
jobs
they want
right
jobs.
now. And if you're 76 years old
Ooh,
with a good pension and a retirement that you can, look to,
sugar mama.
give the kid a chance, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time.
Pass the torch, man. Pass the
Pass
torch. What
the
do they call it? The baton? Do they still carry batons these days in track meets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
track meets. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. The other thing, going back to football yesterday, the other thing I was kind of bummed out about watching football nowadays, because I think yesterday was like the second or third time this football season that I actually gave a shit and actually sat down in front of the TV to watch it. It's not the same without the cheerleaders, man. The cheerleaders, and I'm going to sound very chauvinistic, and I don't give a fuck. Cheerleaders bring a lot. I mean, I know cheerleaders. I went to high school with cheerleaders. I went to college with cheerleaders, and it's a profession. They really do lead the cheers. They bring something out. They bring some element to the game. For that little split second, it's almost as if there was some kind of humanistic element still in the game, but not seeing all that and then seeing the empty seats in the stands, it was just weird. It was just weird to see that, man. So I'm still stuck in that denial that I'm still in a dream waiting to wake up from this fucking nightmare. And it's like I'm watching it's like watching RoboCop, like watching those commercials from that original RoboCop.
You're not wrong.
Weird shit like that, man.
It always seemed like that was the future. Like we'll have robots and automation to do all this stuff for us, and we'll just kind of The weird thing is, I was always looking at the future like, oh, there's still people walking around, and now we've got this glass top thing here, and we've got touch screen, and we've got AI, but everybody still kind of does their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're becoming the future that's like WALL-E.
Yeah, we are.
We're all just kind of sitting in our chairs, waiting for the chair to take us places. Beverage pops up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're not an active future. We're like such a passive future.
Well, I'm hoping that changes. I mean, I'm hoping now, like, I don't know, people are starting to realize where your meals come from and how hard it is. I mean, I'm starting to realize, I think I mentioned this the other day at one of the roundtable shows, that holy shit, man, it takes a long time to like, if I wanted to cook a rabbit right now, right, I don't have any ready right now. I mean, I have some in the freezer, but let's say we didn't have any in the freezer. I still got to wait until these little fuckers mature. They're probably this big right now. I need them to get about this big to make it worthwhile. And it's like, man, it's a couple more weeks to go. And then now you got to mate them. And then it takes 30 days for them to pop out the babies, and then another 15 weeks to get those babies to mature. It takes a long time to eat. So I'm hoping people nowadays are getting more active, I guess, and doing shit, because it's tough out there, man. It's tough out there.
It is.
So, yeah, I don't know. What do you got going on this week, my man? What's anything special going on for you this week?
Oh, I will be reffing more soccer this week than I have in the last year now.
Ooh, right on.
Thinking back on the time frame.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be reffing soccer for about 16 hours this week.
Sweet. Good for you, my man.
Yeah. So, hey, I am able to pay some more bills doing that, so I am more than happy about that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but oh, there was something else coming up this week too. Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
there's another edition of Preacher's Picks coming out this week.
Yeah, right on. Very good.
Yeah, which by the way, for those of you who are interested in watching Preacher's Picks, it is not going to be a live show. It'll be a recorded show, so you can watch it whenever you'd like.
Mhm.
So don't think that you gotta, be here at a certain time or a certain place. Um, it'll be sort of this, catch it as you like sort of thing. But our picks are always going to come at the end of the show. So if you want to
Oh,
see news, I have headers for everything. So you'll see news and you'll see,
say head?
NFL. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it'll be hopefully it'll be a little bit more, easy to see what you want to see. And if you're interested in a couple of things and not interested in other things, you might be able to find find the headers that you like, and hopefully you enjoy the show.
I
So
found it very, very entertaining, man. Like I said, I'm not, you know what? I don't know where it happened, but I lost track of sports. Like I kind of like lost the excitement of sports. I don't know where that happened, but man, you made it exciting. I got to say, hey man, it was pretty damn good. I got to tell you, keep up the good work, my man.
uh, head. Oh, thank you. I mean, it's something I enjoy. And so I want to take that passion and that enthusiasm and, convey that to the people on the other side of the internet. So, and I hope that
Yeah,
you guys get the
good.
passion and joy
Now,
that I feel from it. So,
yeah, right on. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm trying something different here, my location wise. Again, I'm having issues with my internet. Now, I don't know. Have you noticed any different?
I have noticed that you have not had any issues until just now, until you
Great.
mentioned it for some reason.
Yeah. That's, yeah, that's what I get.
It literally
Stop
when you
doing
started
it.
mentioning it, it slowed down for about 5 seconds, but other than that, it's been totally fine the entire time.
All right. See, that's what I get. I got jinxed. Oh man, guys, get it. All right,
See, now
good,
you're back
very
just
good.
fine.
Yeah. So some production notes here tonight, 7 p.m. Central. Hopefully, we should have a Monday motivation with Ogre tonight. So make sure you set your alarms for that. Should be a pretty interesting show because I don't know what he's going to talk about. So hopefully, we'll talk about some more sports too because Ogre likes sports. But yeah, good stuff. That's tonight at 7 p.m. Central. Other than that, man, I don't know, man. It just seems like now that the football's almost coming to an end, what's the next sport?
There's a couple of different sports. So
Oh,
first of
yeah,
all,
hockey.
hockey is coming up. So for those people that like hockey, um,
Yeah.
if you want a little bit more violence, you can go hockey. Um, Otherwise,
Oh, yeah,
basketball season.
basketball.
Basketball's in full swing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not the biggest fan of basketball. I am more a fan of
Mhm.
college basketball than I am of professional.
Yeah.
So I'm a much bigger
I think
fan
it's
of
more
college
exciting.
basketball. So um NBA guys, yeah, I don't know what it is, but like the the one thing I love seeing is that on a college court, like when a guy really makes a bucket or makes an awesome play or has a great defensive stop, the entire bench gets up and they
Mm,
are all about it. You can see the passion in every
yeah.
single player. In pros, maybe there's one or two guys that are kind of like standing
The
up, being the
rookies.
cheerleaders for everybody, and
Yeah.
trying to get everything going. It's like, dude, th- I know you're getting paid for it, but can you show a little enthusiasm? Can you get out of the chair?
Yeah,
So
man. You gotta save your energy, man. Playing basketball, it takes a lot of energy. You gotta save yourself. You gotta get
I
up
was
too
I played
crazy.
basketball. I
Yeah.
finished I finished as a starter in college playing basketball, believe it
Get
or not.
out of here. No shit.
Um, Yeah. So my last season, I went from being probably one of the last bench guys to being a starter the last half of
Mm,
the season.
mm.
Um, and it was, I mean, I went from relative obscurity to having a double double in my last game. So
Oh,
I'll take it.
yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, eh, it's
Mm,
pro basketball. I much rather see college basketball because I know that there's so much on the line.
mhm.
Like sort of, we're in the regular season with regular basketball,
You're
and
right.
there's how many like 100 and some odd games to play.
Sure.
And you got stars that just take every so often. Oh, I'm a little older now. I got to take a day to rest.
Yeah.
But in college, every game is so important because if you don't win, you might slip in the rankings. And if you slip in the rankings, now you're going from a 5 seed or a 6 seed in March Madness tournament
Mhm.
to like a 9 seed. And now you got to play teams that are that much tougher compared to you.
No.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I see the impact more in like a 25 game college, season as
Yeah.
opposed to a 100 and some odd game basketball season.
Yeah. Now they're,
Although an interesting thing that did happen, speaking of the NHL previously, the NHL had to restructure because Canada is not allowing people to cross the border easily.
how dare they?
So the entire NHL restructured so that there are two conferences. There is an American conference and there is a Canadian conference essentially. So all the
Mm,
Canadian teams are playing each other, and then the American teams are kind of playing each other, and that's
no.
that's what's going on.
Was it because of the cootie factors? Yeah, they don't want cooties to be exchanged across the border or what?
Yeah, it's the coof.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Canadians, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Yep.
do?
Well, to be honest, Canada actually has. If you remember the shutdown we had early on in like April,
Yeah,
that's
last year.
essentially what that's essentially what Canada is going through right now.
Again?
Again, yeah. And,
Yeah.
and their cases are nowhere near ours. They've just decided to completely shut things down. It's like,
Yeah.
where is this coming from?
See, and
I mean, I
here's where I'm at with this preacher. I've been asked, I've gotten a few invitations to go to a couple comedy clubs and to go to a couple
Mhm.
yoga studios. Now, I don't know what those two have in common, but I mean, I'm getting invites from these studios and from these comedy clubs to come check them out. And it's like I'm graciously having to decline because I mean, I don't know, man. Is it safe yet to be going to these places? And I know they and nothing to not to give them any kind of you know
Mhm.
what's the word I'm looking for? They're really trying. They're trying their best within the standards and restrictions. They're keeping it clean. They're social distancing and everything. But it's just like
Mhm.
the experience, though, man. Is it the
So
same?
so here's the two things that I would say about,
Yeah,
and this is just general knowledge. I'm not a health expert. I'm not, purporting to be a health expert, but these are the two things
you're
that
a
I would
rep.
say.
Yeah,
First of all, are you being stupid about it? Okay? In other words, do you not care about precautions? Do you not care about anything? Are you close in on people? If you're doing that, that's a problem, you
yeah,
know? If you're taking necessary precautions, if you're wearing the face mask, if you're, washing your hands regularly, if you're trying to be respectful of other people's distance, that kind of thing, then that's the first part, okay?
yeah, yeah.
The second part is, let me put it in this frame. So, and I just saw this from, I think it was The Guardian, which is an English news
English,
website.
well,
English, yes.
English.
From I think they're from London.
Oh,
But a
Victoria.
London doctor said, this virus might just become, as we become more and more immune to it. First of all, it might just stick around.
Yeah,
It's
I
not like
saw
it's
that.
just going to die off.
Yeah, National
But
Geographic. Saw that.
yeah, National Geographic had something on it like that.
Mm,
Um, but they said this could just become one of the 5 different strains or 6 different strains of coronavirus that leads to the common cold as we eventually get immunity to this thing.
yeah,
Because to be honest, it's not like you can snap your fingers when there's a new virus or a coronavirus that, that pops up. And so because of that, you kind of have to look at it as, if I'm going into an environment with a lot of different people, how would I prevent myself from getting a cold and getting a flu?
Yeah.
If you do those things and you're doing them well, you're at least being conscious of them,
Right.
then it tends to be fairly difficult to
Mm.
pass these things from person to person. If you're washing your hands regularly, making sure that the that the area that you've been in has been cleaned and relatively sanitized. If you're wearing a face mask, it's difficult to get these things.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're being careless about it, if you have a runny nose, and I mean, the Mythbusters did this. If a guy's got a runny nose and he keeps doing this and he shakes people's hands and he,
Yeah, that's
you
correct.
know, keeps doing this and then he, passes plates and whatnot, you can see the interaction of the germs.
Yeah.
But if you're being careful about it,
Mm-hmm.
and the Mythbuster showed this too. Even if he's doing this and it's still a runny nose kind of situation, if he knows it and he's conscious about it and he's careful about it,
Yeah.
he's the only one that actually has the germs on him. Everybody else is relatively safe.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to start. Well, I mean, right now it's still kind of cold, right? I mean, I'm not really going to venture off just yet.
I don't disagree with that.
And wherever I go, it's going to have to go on, and it's going to have to be on my motorcycle. I mean, that's those are my wheels. And like I said, I went for a ride the other day. It was still snowing out, and just took it around the neighborhood. Eventually, I'm going to get out there, man. I'm going to get out, and I definitely want to hit up some of these yoga studios, man. Well, the one thing I wanted to do was to do they have something out here by me. They have it in the park. I was like, it's outside at a park. They still they still had recommended, but this was last year. They had recommended you wear masks, and I figured, okay, that'll work. I'm going to try to get out there, and I think in my case, I love being masked. I have, my face. I don't want my face is meant for radio, and I love it that way, and so I don't mind wearing a mask. I could actually do yoga without fear of being teased, or at least that's what goes on in my head, is that everybody's pointing their finger at me, teasing me while I'm doing my yoga. So now I don't have to worry about that. I'll have a safety blanket across my face.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm wearing ninja masks everywhere I go now, like those balaclavas. I have, different balaclavas for different occasions.
Nice.
So yeah. It's all about accessorizing these days. How you accessorize makes your experience.
There are people that take that, like, they will color coordinate their mask to their clothing.
Oh,
I've seen people.
Now,
I
haven't gone that far yet, but I could see that.
I've seen it, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Because they're wearing a green shirt, and the green on their shirt matches the green on their mask. Or they're wearing a gray shirt, and they're wearing a gray mask, and it's just because it's a different day. It's like, first of all, how many masks do you own?
Yeah.
Second of all, if you own all these masks, where did you get them from, and how did you color coordinate everything so perfectly? And third of all, is it your wife doing it for you and not actually you?
Yeah, you know it is. There's somebody who has talent that's doing all that shit. Yeah.
Someone who actually has an eye for color instead of us, poor men that just can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey man, did you have a special announcement you wanted to make today before we start the day, or sign off for the day?
I mean, other than actually not yet.
Okay.
Not yet on that one.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, let's hold off until I actually have that done.
Roger copy. All right. Well, there you have it, folks.
But yeah, stay tuned. Wednesday we'll be back 7 a.m. Preacher's Picks will come out probably around Thursday or Friday this week. Special Super Bowl edition. Also, hopefully I will be joined by a couple others this week, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, and which Super Bowl is it? Is it 54 or 55?
55.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's LX, right? Or LV.
LV.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was.
And speaking of which, just so because people wonder about this. So your 30-second ad in the Super Bowl this year is $5.5 million for a 30-second ad spot.
Chump change. Yeah. Yeah. Look for the Black Sheep Bravo commercial at Super Bowl. Keep your eyes open for it. It's going to be.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to kick ass. All right. Well, again, I don't have any bells and whistles yet. I'm still working on that. I'm still waiting for an intern. I'm still waiting for a social media help associate. So I'm working on that. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm also working on another show. So I think I mentioned this before. If you're into sex, which I hope most of you are, this show will be for you. It's coming out. It's coming. No pun intended. So yes, stay tuned for that. Until then, man. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys later.